Hey everybody, this is Eric. Today I'm going to try to improve my desk setup here. The thing that bothers me most about my desk setup is the fact that I have these two boxes holding this monitor up on the monitor stand. I need it at the same height as the other monitor, so that's kind of why I did that, but it takes up a lot of space on the desk and it looks pretty janky. So today what I'm going to do is replace that with an arm that mounts the monitor to the wall. It's articulated so you can move it around, and hopefully I should be able to get it in the same position and just remove all this stuff down here. So if you want to see how that works, stick around for the video. Okay, so I've removed the monitor at this point, and you can see behind it I've got a bunch of cable clutter and power strip, and that's not great either, but at least now I have some wall exposed here, so I can try to figure out where I'm going to place the monitor arm and get this thing mounted. And here is the mount that I've purchased from Amazon. That's ER Gear. I'll put the link down in the description if somebody wants to get the same one. Looks like this might be the hardware kit. Yeah, so this is all your screws and whatnot that you might need to use. It comes with some tools and also the brackets that you'll probably put on the back of the monitor. And this looks like the bolts that you would put into the wall. And it looks like this is the monitor arm itself. Yeah, there's the VESA mount on the back. So yeah, let me get this thing unwrapped and then I'll start figuring out how to put it on the wall. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do here is to remove the monitor from the foot. This is a Dell. Most of the Dells that I've ever seen work the same way. There's a little button right here underneath where the monitor attaches to the foot. You just press that in and you can pivot it away from the foot. And I'm going to go ahead and gently lay that down. And then I'm going to remove the foot. And then make sure that your surface has nothing on it that can damage the screen. And then I'm going to gently lay that screen down. And next you're going to figure out where to attach the VESA mount to the monitor. So the main piece of the VESA mount looks like this. It'll look like this on just about every kind of monitor arm you buy. Usually they also come with these extender brackets, which can be screwed onto the edges in various configurations. If the holes on the back of your monitor are not in a small square like this, they could be out on the edges, on the curve. There's spacers and different screw lengths and sizes in the package so that you can get the hardware that matches your monitor. With Dell, it's pretty easy. This is just going to match up exactly with what's there. So I'm just going to pull these 4 screws and I'm going to attach this mount. Now when you put this thing on, make sure that this guy is at the top of the monitor, because this is what's going to attach this to the arm. Okay, now this thing is on there. It doesn't need to be tightened down crazy tight, but as long as this thing is not moving around at all, I think you're in good shape. Taking a closer look at the monitor arm itself, this is the base that's going to screw into the wall. There's 3 holes for screws. There's a nut on the underside of this that you can loosen if you need to be able to turn this a little more freely, but it can be turned with just a decent amount of pressure already. It has a little bit of instruction here on this tension screw. If you turn it clockwise, it's going to reduce the tension, and if you turn it counterclockwise, it's going to increase the tension. By reducing the tension, it's going to allow you to lower this arm so the weight of the monitor can bring it down. And what you want is for the monitor and the arm to be kind of in balance so that the monitor doesn't drop. It has a pivot point here as well. You'll notice that on the underside of both of these, there is a channel, and that's for your cable routing. Up here at the top, you have another tension screw or nut, and it has a plus and minus for increased tension and decreased tension, and that's for turning this guy. Actually, no, that's not for the left and right. This is for the up and down. Right now it's pretty tight, so I can't actually move this thing up and down. But if you needed to tilt your monitor up and down, that's where you would adjust that. And then this is where the actual mount that I put on the back of the monitor will slide down onto this guy. And then there's a nut that you place into this hole to attach the two together. I have a stud finder here. I'm going to go ahead and use this. If you've never used one of these, they're pretty simple. There's a button along the side. You put it on your wall and you hold down that button and you get a little beep, and then you basically run it slowly horizontally across your wall until it starts to make a noise and light up. And that'll tell you where the edge of your stud is. And in my case, the stud lines up exactly with this cabinet. More than likely, they drilled this cabinet right into those studs, which works out for me because I want to put my wall mount right there. So I'm going to basically put my wall mount as close up against this cabinet as I can to try to drill into those studs. If you don't have a stud to drill into for your wall, you can get something called a toggle bolt. That will allow you to put an anchor into drywall so that you can screw one of these guys in, or actually I think the toggle bolt comes with a bolt that you can screw in and use in lieu of these. So I will link to that in the description as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and mark the spot where I want to place my wall mount. Again, I'm going to keep it as close to the cabinet as I can. And this is kind of nice because it helps me keep it nice and straight up and down. If you don't have this, obviously you can use a level. And I also want to verify that my mount is right about where I want it to be. I can move that up and down if I want to a little bit. So now I'm just going to take a pencil and I'm going to mark the holes so I know exactly where to drill. Okay, so I have nice little circles where I want to drill my holes. In the instructions, it'll tell you what drill bit to use when drilling your pilot holes. It wants a 5/32, so that's this guy right here. And that'll match up exactly with the screws that they provided. Now open up your hardware that they provided. You're going to want to use both the screws and the washers. So just put your washers onto your screws. Next, I'm going to work on the cable management a little bit. I've got 3 cables to route. I've got my USB cable, which powers the USB hub that's built into the monitor. I've got the power cable, which gives power to the monitor itself. And then lastly, I have the video cable. So to get the cable management channels off, this one you kind of just squeeze and pull down a little bit and it'll just kind of snap off. Not snap, but it'll pop off. It has these little teeth that go into the holes and you pull it up to kind of lock it into place. The one on the bottom, you just slide it toward you and it comes right off, and there's some indication on there that you push this back down in order to lock it in place. Now the cable has been routed through the channels. I'm going to go ahead and put the monitor onto the arm. Okay, so as you can see, the bracket that's on the back of the monitor slides up and down on the end of this arm into place, and then these 2 little tabs up top basically have a screw hole, and it comes with a little hand screw like this. You just put down in through the top and screw into place. Now the monitor is securely attached. Next, I'll go ahead and hook up the cables. Now I'm going to try to line up my monitor and see if I can get it where I want it to be. So as you can see, the monitor is on the arm and attached to the wall. It no longer has the foot and the boxes below it that looked really janky. It freed up quite a bit of desk space. If I'm being honest, it didn't work out quite as well as I wanted it to because this space is a little cramped, and I had to pull the monitor a little forward and I had to pull this one forward to match. I wish that I could push it back a little bit, but there's not enough space for the arm to move back there and be able to accomplish that. Still, I think it's a net positive over what I had before. There's definitely a lot more desk space. If I was going to do a project like this again, or rather if I was going to suggest any tips or helpful suggestions for someone who's going to do this themselves, it's to invest in a socket set, and also to get one of these guys. It's like an adapter that'll allow you to attach a set of sockets to a drill. When I was working back there, I was so far up against that cabinet that I wasn't able to get enough torque using the Phillips head and either a screwdriver or a drill to get them drilled all the way into the studs. But with this, and the socket set, I was able to do it just fine. So that would definitely be my biggest tip for anyone who's going to do this. Also, if you're going to be putting this into the wall, with a drywall where there's no stud, I would suggest you get yourself a set of toggle bolts. I don't have any at the moment to show you, but I've used them in the past. They're really, really great. I'll link up to them on Amazon so you can see what they're all about, but you can put this into drywall anywhere, and I'm telling you, nothing's coming out of the wall when you put in these toggle bolts. So those are really, really great. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you have any suggestions on how I can improve this setup, please add them to the comments. If you like this video, please give me a like, and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this, especially because I plan on improving this desk setup a little bit more. So eventually, as I publish those videos, if you subscribe, you'll see those. Anyway, have a great day. Thank you for watching.